I can't forget this. No matter how much time passes. No matter how much I try to move on. This moment still lives inside me. A moment that changed everything. A moment that taught me who people really are. And who I could become. My name is Laura Mitchell. I am 31 years old. And for almost 7 years, I gave everything I had to a company that never saw my value. Or maybe they saw it too clearly. So clearly that they were afraid of it. The beginning. I started at Parker & Lane Consulting as a junior analyst. No experience. No confidence. No voice. Just a dream. And the hope that hard work would eventually speak for me. I arrived early. Stayed late. Volunteered for everything. Became the yes person because I thought that's what success looked like. And slowly. Painfully slowly. People started to notice. Not everyone, of course. But someone did. My boss, Mr. Graham. He wasn't a kind man. He wasn't inspirational. He wasn't someone people admired. He was respected only because people feared him. And for some reason, he liked me. Or at least he liked my work. He would always say, "Laura, you're sharp. You think fast. You don't complain. You deliver. Keep this up, and you'll go far." I believed him. I trusted him. I thought he was pushing me forward. But I didn't know he was also pulling strings. To make sure I stayed exactly where he wanted me. The promise. 3 months before everything happened, he called me into his office. I remember it perfectly. He sat in his leather chair, tapping a pen against the desk, looking at me like I was a project he was about to expand. "Laura," he said, "you've been on my radar for a long time. And I think it's time we talk about your future here." My heart almost jumped. I had been waiting for this. A promotion. Recognition. A chance to finally rise. "I'm recommending you for the lead analyst position," he continued. "It's between you and 2 others. But truthfully, you're my favorite." Favorite. That word echoed in my mind for days. I went home smiling. Crying. Laughing. I called my sister. I told her, "This is it. My life is going to change." But I didn't know something else was about to change too. The moment everything shifted. One Friday evening, he asked me to stay late to prepare some documents. I didn't question it. I never questioned anything. But when I walked into his office, something felt different. He wasn't talking about work. He wasn't looking at the reports. He wasn't even pretending. He said, "We're both adults, Laura. And people who help each other grow together." I froze. Everything suddenly made sense. The attention. The "you're my favorite." The promotion. It wasn't about my work. It wasn't about my dedication. It wasn't even about my talent. It was about something else entirely. Something I would never give. Not for a job. Not for a career. Not for anything. I stepped back and said only one word. "No." He stared at me, expression cold. "Empty. Dangerous. Think carefully," he whispered. "Opportunities like this don't come twice." But I didn't change my mind. I walked out. Shaking. Scared. But proud. I thought my no would simply cost me the promotion. I didn't know it would cost me everything. The sabotage. From that day on, his behavior changed completely. He stopped greeting me. Stopped acknowledging me. Stopped copying me on important emails. Worse. He started criticizing things that were never a problem before. Late replies that weren't late. Reports with errors that didn't exist. Ideas he had once praised suddenly became unprofessional. And I kept silent. Because I didn't want to lose everything I had worked 7 years to build. Until the day HR scheduled a meeting to announce the new lead analyst. I was nervous. But hopeful. Maybe he had cooled down. Maybe he would be fair. Maybe saying no wouldn't be the end. But the moment I saw the smile on Rebecca's face, a coworker who barely did the minimum, I understood. He had chosen her. Not because she was the best. Not because she deserved it. But because he wanted to punish me. And he did it without hesitation. The meeting. When her name was announced, everyone clapped. I just sat there. Still. Numb. Unable to breathe. Mr. Graham looked directly at me. Not with pride. Not with respect. Not even with anger. With victory. A silent message. This is what you get. After the meeting, people congratulated Rebecca. Some patted me on the shoulder saying, "You'll get the next one." But I knew the truth. There wouldn't be a next one. Not with him there. Not with this system. Not with this culture. He had decided my future. Or so he thought. The breaking point. 2 weeks later, Rebecca asked me to train her for the position. I wanted to scream. Cry. Quit. But instead, I walked into an empty conference room. Sat alone. Put my head in my hands. And finally let myself feel everything. The humiliation. The betrayal. The injustice. The silence I had kept for too long. And for the first time in 7 years, I asked myself a question I had never dared to ask. Why am I allowing people to treat me like this? I was tired. Exhausted. But something inside me, something small, quiet but powerful, answered. You're more than this. You always were. And that was the moment. Everything changed. The decision. I resigned. No drama. No explanations. No last-minute attempts to make them see my value. I simply walked into HR, signed the document and said, "This is not the kind of place I want to give my life to." Mr. Graham heard the news. He didn't call me. Didn't try to stop me. Didn't even pretend to care. And I realized. He never had power over me. I had just given it to him. But no more. The unexpected twist. 3 months later, I received an email from a company I had admired for years. They said they had seen a project I worked on, something Mr. Graham never gave me credit for, and they wanted to talk. Not for an analyst position. Not for a junior role. But for head of strategy. A role higher than the one I was denied. During the interview, the director told me, "We looked at several candidates, but when we saw your work, we knew you were the one. Not because of favoritism. Not because of pressure. Not because I said yes to something I shouldn't. But because of my talent. My effort. My integrity. I got the job. I rebuilt myself. I rose, not through someone else's approval, but through my own courage. And today, looking back, I understand something powerful. Some no's don't destroy your life. They protect it. They redirect it. They save it. And this is something I can't forget. Shadowing practice. Shadowing is a technique where you listen to the narrator and repeat immediately after, imitating pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. It helps you improve your speaking, train your listening, build natural pronunciation, gain confidence through repetition. You can replay any section of the story and repeat it out loud. The more you shadow, the faster your English improves. A recommended video was left for you to continue learning.